When people think of Star Wars, it usually goes one of two ways. It's either the prequels are the work of Satan, or a much smaller voice saying, I quite like them. And then you factor in the tabletop implementation, and a whole new mindset kicks in of, oh my god, not this again, isn't that cow out of cash by now? So you can believe that when Days of Wonder announced Star Wars Battle of Hoth, a collective groan was heard all over the world. But I'm not so sure that was warranted. Let me show you why I think this game earns its place on the icy battlefield, and why it shouldn't instantly be frozen in carbonite. Star Wars Battle for Hoth is a 2025 release from Days of Wonder that drops you right into the iconic battle from The Empire Strikes Back. Mechanically, it's rooted firmly in the tried and true Memoir 44 system, but it comes reskinned and upgraded with fresh twists. Players take control of either the Rebel Alliance, desperately defending the Echo base, or the Empire unleashing walkers and troops across the frozen tundra. Each side fights across different scenarios that add layers of challenge and replay value. It's also card-driven, scenario-based, and dripping with Star Wars theme. The modular battlefield setup means every session feels like a new skirmish, but the real hook, it's not just a coat of paint on Memoir 44. It's got unique asymmetry, clever scenario design, and production value that could make even a Wookiee weep with joy. Days of Wonder have absolutely nailed the production here. The miniatures look fantastic on the board, from the hulking great AT-ATs to the scrappy rebel troops, and even those detailed snow speeders and turret emplacements add depth and cinematic flair to your board. The snowy battlefield tiles pop with theme, with the various terrain tiles adding scenic interest across what, to be honest, would be otherwise a very barren battlefield. The quality of the cardstock feels pretty premium, and with little shuffling involved in this game, the cardstock should be able to stand the test of time without sleeving. I know the copy I have is sleeved, but we're totally obsessed with sleeving like every game ever. The insert as well is smartly designed for ease of setup and storage, and I will say, having transported this game around a fair bit, everything stayed in place really well, including when I stored the game vertically. I know, sue me, alright? Every detail screams high quality production and attention to cinematic immersion. I'm sure the House of Mouse is overjoyed. So the components are great, but what about the gameplay? And to be honest, at first I was worried this was just going to be Memoir 44 in a Vader helmet. But honestly, the gameplay does actually manage to hold its own. The command card system keeps the tension high, and the dice combat keeps everything swingy enough to be cinematic without losing strategy. Each scenario plays very differently. Sometimes the rebels are on the back foot, scrambling to survive, while other times the Empire has to play very smart to avoid themselves overextending, shall we say. One standout feature for me is the different leader cards for each side, which provide unique abilities and tactical options that really change how you approach the battlefield in each and every game that you play. It captures the push-pull of the battle beautifully and makes every playthrough feel fresh and strategic. So I've been waxing lyrical pretty much since the get-go on this one, but what about the bad? Because there's got to be something, right? If you slap Star Wars on the box, there's always that worry it'll just be another cash grab, but I hope at this point I've shown you enough to prove that that isn't the case. But that's not to say the game is without its problematic elements. At first, I thought the Empire had, let's say, an unfair advantage. Storming Echo Base felt a bit like bringing a Star Destroyer to a snowball fight. But after more plays across various different scenarios, and I have played as the rebels as well, I realised the balance is actually scenario driven, not faction driven. So, really, that's not a huge problem, but still, new players might feel a little frustrated if they dive into a lopsided mission without knowing that context. Now, truth be told, I don't enjoy finding stuff to put in the ugly section. And while today I do have something to say, it's not so much the fault of the game, but more the human sin that is greed. And that greed leads me to my one real gripe. The 3D generators are not included in this base box. They were locked behind a pre-order bonuses or promo content or whatever that was. The fact is, they could have easily been included in the base game, providing better value to the consumer and adding extra depth to the battlefields. The insert is clearly designed to hold them, so really 3 extra bits of plastic would have not really cost much for them to put it in. For a game that otherwise feels premium, this feels like a cash grab move that left a bad taste in collectors' mouths and completionists alike. Otherwise, the game itself is pretty solid. Rolling dice and missing every hit with an AT-AT still counts as fun frustration. So what is the shelf life verdict for Star Wars Battle of Hoth? Is it a keeper worthy of the Jedi archives or a bantha fodder blip that you can happily skip? For me, this one is a keeper, which is a funny way for me to say it because it's not actually my copy, but there you go. The production is stellar, the gameplay is solid, and the way it builds on the foundations of Memoir 44 gives it both familiarity and freshness. It's best suited for fans of scenario-based tactical combat, anyone who already owns Memoir 44, and of course, Star Wars fans who want more than just a collectible on their shelf. I've had moments where I was sure the Empire was going to steamroll me or I was going to steamroll the Rebels, only to claw it back with a win. With desperate Rebel maneuvers, it feels cinematic and tense. The modular scenarios mean you're not just replaying the same clash over and over and over again. And the learning curve is gentle. If you're already familiar with the system, for sure it's easy to understand, but even new players can grasp this system. If you're looking for a Star Wars game that actually is worth your time and doesn't cost the earth, and balances theme, production, and gameplay, you'll want to give Star Wars Battle of Hoth a shot. This one's not going anywhere from our collection, I don't think, because if Anthony does try and sell this, it's going to end up in my collection. But that's enough from me, guys. What do you think? Have you fought the Battle of Hoth yet? And did you feel the Rebels stood a chance? Or were the Empire walkers just too much to handle? Let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please do make sure you hit that subscribe button and click subscribe. We release a lot of content here and we think you'll enjoy it. With all that being said though, it leaves me with nothing more to say other than thank you very much for watching. I have been Jason, you have been watching The Meeple Minded, and as always, I will see you on the next one.